Hey guys, M2 Clutch here with another figure review. I know it's been a long time, but here we go, back at it, finally. Now we're in September. I got some work stuff past me, I got some work stuff coming up, but we got some new action figures, so let's talk about them. So here we have the Big Bad Workshop, the Operation Monster Force. We've got some Season 2 and a couple of Season 0 things. So we have Dr. Caligari, the Donner Party, Lieutenant Griffin, the Eraser, Halloween Boy from Season 2. And then we've got General Brown from Season 0, which was originally a Season 2, but has been retroactively changed to Season 0. And then we also have a Phantom Core Defense Loadout accessory pack that is part of Season 0. So the way we're going to break this down is we're going to do the good guys and then we're going to do the bad guys. So Dr. Caligari is a bad guy, Donner Party is a good guy, Lieutenant Griffin the Eraser is a bad guy, Halloween Boy is a good guy, General Brown is a good guy, Phantom Core Defense Loadout I think would be for the bad guys because they're the zombie dudes, and that's going to be the Apophis Legion, which is led by Dr. Caligari if I'm not mistaken. So we're going to do, again, good guys and bad guys. So this video will be the Donner Party and Halloween Boy and General Brown. Then the next video will be Dr. Caligari and Lieutenant Griffin the Eraser. And then in that one, I can compare the Eraser to his other two previous released exclusive versions of the Eraser. And then we will take a look at the Phantom Core Defense Loadout in that video. Unfortunately, I do not have a Apophis Legion figure to add these accessories to, but it's cool that we got them. So big shout out and thank you to Big Bad Toy Store for getting these sent out my way so I can review these a little bit early for you guys. Just so you are aware, they are up for pre-order now. So if you pre-order, they will be shipping soon. So they are on the way to the Big Bad Toy Store warehouse. So they will be able to get these shipped out soon. So Season 2 and Season 0 figures, much like the first season, Season 1, they have the window open box, but this time is a magnet as opposed to like a Velcro. We get that comic strip on the inside there, and then you got the window box showing the figure there. So that is Dr. Caligari. There is the Donner Party, there is Lieutenant Griffin the Eraser, there is Halloween Boy, and then there is General Brown. So again, Donner Party, Halloween Boy, and General Brown will be this video. So let's go ahead and take a look at each one. Okay, so looking at the package of each one, you can see the back is basically all the same, sort of. The cross-sell for General Brown, since he is a Season 0 figure, is going to be different. Of course, you got the Apophis Legion, a couple of different variants. You got the Phantom Core also, and then you have General Brown in there. The bios, I guess the bios are different. So the Season 2 bios are all the same across all the packaging, and then the Season 0 is going to be different. So let's go with Season 0. It says, a new threat is rising. An ancient evil has emerged from Egyptian sands, leaving destruction in his wake. As his power grows, the governments of the world send their best soldiers to destroy him. General Brown deploys the Phantom Core, an elite spec ops unit for rapid insertion during the first hours of conflict. They engage this mystical being only to be wiped out by his sorceress power, the only survivor. Or by his sorcerer's powers. The only survivor, Intelligence Officer Declan Van Helsing, reports seeing his teammates rise from the dead as zombie soldiers, single-minded in service to their new master. So that's why you got the zombie versions, and you got the regular Phantom Core, which is the good guys, and then you got the Apophis Legion, which are the bad guys. So the loadout pack that I have is technically would be for the good guys, since this is the Phantom Core Defense Loadout. So this would be the good guy version. So we will still take a look at that in the next video, though. And then, horrified, the Sentinels realize conventional methods of attack will only add to the ranks of what the UN has dubbed the Apophis Legion. General Brown needs new ideas on how to fight this supernatural threat. Declan Van Helsing only has one, and that's, the whole Dracula thing and all of that. But the Season 2 packaging says a dark escalation begins. As the war escalates, the Forgotten King deploys new minions against the Delta Red. He quietly recruits a descendant of the Invisible Man, the Eraser, to carry out targeted assassinations, while Dr. Caligari shows himself on the battlefield at last to introduce his new legion of aerial sleepwalkers. When the general narrowly escapes an assassination attempt, Declan Van Helsing and Dracula decide to take swift action. They modify a sample of vampire blood to create Shadow Ghoul bodyguards. The new team of Blackwatch, which would be these guys here, agents are quietly at the new team of Blackwatch agents are quietly added to the protection details of high-ranking officials. In addition, Declan is able to recruit two new allies, the mysterious Halloween Boy and a creature from America's past, a being who calls himself the Donner Party. Will these new additions to Operation Monster Force be enough to answer the Forgotten King's dark escalation? We shall see. So taking a look here, we have all of the figures from Season 2. So the only ones that I do not have are the Sleepwalker Aerial Assassin, Aerial Assault Trooper, and then the Black Watch Agent, and the Delta Red Nightshade unit, which was part of the reveal of the Big Bad Toy Store 25th anniversary. So here we go, looking at the figures. We'll just take a look at each one as we kind of open up the window box. So you got the Donner Party in there, looking very Frankenstein, which is cool. Halloween Boy, which is an original creation, comic creation by Dave Baker. I got to meet the creator at San Diego Comic-Con, so that is really cool. There's some comic strips there. Then you got some information to visit Dave Baker's website at heydavebaker.com, which is really cool. And then General Brown, you got General Brown in there with some swappable heads. So there we go. Let's go ahead and open these up and let's take a look. All right, so we've got the 3 figures out of the package, and just like the first Season 1, they're loaded with all kinds of like, it's too much, guys. It's too much. There's too many accessories, which is not actually like a complaint. It's not like a thing. But when you're reviewing 3 figures, it's like, oh my god. But I get it, right? Like, oh, woe is me. But in all seriousness, these guys are loaded with all kinds of accessories. Like, it's insane. So General Brown, we've got a couple of different heads for General Brown. So we've got this guy, we've got this guy, and we've got this guy. Right, so 3 additional heads. You get 1 extra neck because, you know, the skin tone is going to match these 2 other heads there. And then you get hands for General Brown. As you can see here, we got all these different hands here. He's got 1, 2, 3, 3.5 extra sets of hands. And then we get the same corresponding hands to match the skin tones of the white guys there. We do get a pistol that he comes with. And then you have 3 different sunglasses. You get gold, a silver with black lenses on those 2, and then another silver with a blue lens. So 3 different sunglasses. We get his general hat, which is cool. And then you actually get name badge stickers on here. So you got 2 Browns, 2 Storms, 2 Clarks, and 2 Frosts. So you got General Brown, General Storm, General Clark, and General Frost. I'm assuming this guy's Frost, right? He's the older guy, the white hair. He's got to be Frost, right? One of these is Clark, one of these is Storm. I don't know which one is which. I guess it's going to be up to you to decide. I have to take a look. Maybe somewhere in the comic it may give an update as far as who's Clark, who's Frost, who's Storm. But that is General Brown right there. So you can place on there who you want him to be. So if you army build this guy, you can put the different name badges on there. I will not be doing this because I know I will not get the sticker right. I will mess that up, so I'm not even going to try. Halloween Boy, we get a bunch of extra stuff as well. We get 2 extra sets of hands. So you got the trigger finger hands out of the package. We get a pair of fists, and then we get a pair of open hands here, which is cool. We also get a pair of elbow pads that were not on the figure, but I will be placing those on. We get a couple of pistols here, so this is great. He's got 2 holsters on his legs, so you got 2 pistols to go along with it. You do get a silencer or suppressor there. You get this knife here. You get this extra pouch there. You get 3 different muzzle flares. Whoops. Here. And Donner Party actually comes with these same muzzle flares. So you get these flame effects, and then you get a smoke effect there, which is cool. And then you get this flaming sword here, which is specific to Halloween Boy, which is really cool. And then you get this rifle here, which looks really good. All these weapons are also sculpted by Gridiron Studios, by the way. Does this magazine come out? That magazine does, in fact, come out, and the bullet is painted in there, so that is pretty cool that we got that there. So that is all Halloween Boys accessories there, and then we've got the Donner Party. So Donner Party, he comes with this big old machete. This thing is crazy looking. Looks really good. The paintwork on it is very nice, and you get that sheath to go on there. This is going to clip onto him somewhere. I haven't figured it out, but I will check it out. We get those same muzzle flare effects for the Donner Party that Halloween Boy comes with, including the smoke effect there, which is great. And then we get 1, 2, 3 extra sets of hands. So he's got trigger finger hands out of the package. You get a pair of fists. You get a pair of grip hands. And then you got a pair of open hands there. So those are all the hands for the Donner Party. And then we get a couple of guns. We get this old, like, 6-shooter gun. Donner Party really reminds me of, like, cowboy kind of looking guy. We get this old school shotgun there. And then this old school, like, machine gun rifle type of deal there. And then you get this, is this a serape? It's not really a poncho. It wraps around his neck. That is soft goods there. It's got a little bit of red in there for some blood. It's got a couple of tatters, little tears in there. So that's pretty good. It is bendy wire, so you can kind of you know, pose it out, shape it around. So that's pretty cool. So I'm going to set up each one of these to load up with as many accessories as I can and start to take some pictures, and then we'll take each figure one by one. Okay, so looking at General Brown, so here we go. We got a hat on, we got the sunglasses on, and General Brown's looking pretty good. We just don't have his name. So again, you know, for a close-up, you could see, you know, you could put the sticker on there. Again, I would mess that up really badly. I'm not going to do it. Again, he also does come with a gun there. And then we got a bunch of extra hands. So again, there's two versions of each set of hands. So we have, for General Brown, we have the salute hands. Here he's got the grip hands on the figure already. We got the salute hands. We've got the trigger finger hands there. We've got a fist. Only one fist? Am I missing a hand? Nope. We got two fists. And then we've got one finger pointing hand there. And then we get the same hands, but in the white flesh tone there. Wait, is there more actually? Grip, finger point, trigger finger, fist, salute. Nope, same exact hands. So that is General Brown. Not a whole lot going on for him. It is just a suited body, as you can see there. It's probably very similar to like the Black Watch agent guys, but you get the general coat in there with all his decorations there, and that all looks pretty good. Just standard suited body though, not a whole lot going on with it, to be completely honest with you guys. He is all pinless and everything there, but that is General Brown. Very Carl Weathers looking, so let's take the sunglasses off, let's take the hat off, and then as you can see, really looks like Carl Weathers, doesn't it? So rest in peace, Carl Weathers. But man, yeah, I think that really looks like him. But that's the General Brown. So again, the Sentinels, they're referred to as the Sentinels, and I don't know the full backstory here and whatnot. But you have the alternate heads in here, so you could swap these out. Again, you get the one extra neck with the additional heads. So you have to pop that on. A little bit trickier than I thought it would be. That is a tight grip on there, which I can't seem to get. So I may have to warm this up a bit to get this head on there. Maybe it's just also the angle that I'm trying to get it on. All the season 1 figures had swappable necks and everything like that. So this is nothing new, but I'm having some trouble. Let me try it off camera. That wasn't so bad. I just had to give it a little bit of force, kind of squeeze it and turn it on there to get the head on there. So this is, I don't know if this is Storm or if this is Frost or if this is Clark. Maybe you get to choose who you want it to be. But there we go. And then, of course, I'd have to swap out the hands, obviously. But then you can have multiple different generals there referred to as, again, the Sentinel. So that is that head sculpt there. We're going to pop just the head off and not the neck. So we get that. And we get this other guy on there. Pop this head on there. Let's get that neck position just right. Let's get that head on there. So we get this guy. I want to say, I feel like he's Storm. I feel like this is General Storm. I don't know for sure. But you got that head on there. Let's swap that one out. Let's get the last one, which I'm gonna call this guy Clark. Don't know if he is Clark or not, but that's what I'm gonna call him. This one, he's got a scar in his face. He's got blue eyes on there. Let's see, blue eyes. He's probably going to go with the blue sunglasses. This one felt a little wide, like it was just kind of warped out a little bit more, I would say. You might just have to heat it up or squeeze it back in to kind of get it in place. You want to be careful. These sunglasses can be a little fragile there, but this one doesn't want to sit as nicely on there as kind of the other ones do. So just a heads up on that. But we get 4 heads, and we only have 3 different sunglasses. So you got 3 different styles. So that's why I went with the gold lens I put for General Brown, because, you know, I think he's going to be like the main guy. So you want him kind of looking the best there. And then once you get the hat on there, and it kind of hides the fact that those sunglasses like really go out pretty wide there on his face. But there we go. So we have our different generals there. And that's pretty good. Let's go ahead and jump over to Halloween Boy. Okay, so here we have Halloween Boy. Halloween Boy is definitely my favorite of the bunch because I just think he has the most unique, well, kind of a unique look because he's super bright in color. He's got this bright-ass orange on there. And you know what? I think it just looks really cool. I love the design. As you can see, kind of in the head sculpt and everything, you've got the ears pointing out and everything. Dave Baker was making a joke like, you know, his ears keep getting bigger and bigger over time. But I just think he looks really, really cool. I really like the way it looks. You get this flame effect on that sword that actually comes off as well, so it doesn't have to stay on there, which is a really nice feature. The rifle that he comes with, it's sculpted really nice. Again, Gridiron Studios is the ones that did the sculpting of the weaponry. The paintwork on there is nice. It's just black plastic with a little bit of silver dry brushing on it to kind of bring out the details. Just really looks good. But you can see he's all geared out. You got the the hooks, carabiners. He's got an extra pouch if you wanted to swap out like these grenades or something, or these flares. I take it that you could swap that out. You could store the knife right there on his chest. He's got the holsters on his left and right leg for the pistols. I got the elbow pads on there. But yeah, I think Halloween Boy just looks really cool. I like the way I like the way it looks. Came out really nice. And then you get these muzzle flares again, so you could pop these into his weapons. Oops, careful there. So then you can have him shooting there. So you can do it with the muzzle flare, or you could do it with the smoke effect piece. Let me carefully place this smoke effect piece on there. So, he could be on a shooting spree. He's just kind of pop it off, and then boom, it's just kind of steaming in there. So you got that, which is really cool. And then again, this comes with like the suppressor here, which would attach onto the end of this rifle. It would just kind of slip on to the end there, and then you could have kind of the suppressor or silencer, as it were. And then you could also just remove it. So that is Halloween Boy. Again, I think he looks the best. You guys let me know what you think, but let's go ahead and jump over into the Donner Party. Okay, so here is the Donner Party. The Donner Party actually might be one of the cooler ones for sure. Halloween Boy, I just like the look overall. It's not overly crazy or anything like that, but I just really like the way it looks. Donner Party is very unique. He's very like Frankenstein-ish. Like the paint on his face and everything is insane. Like crazy greens and browns in there. He's got like this brass metal piece like over his head and everything, just crazy looking. The neck in there is crazy looking too. He's got this cover in here which has got some tatters. It looks a little bloody. It's got some cuts in it. It looks dirty, everything like that. That is pretty cool, and you can kind of pose it out with the bendy wire in there, which is really cool. Again, the different weapons that he comes with. So he's got like this rifle type deal here, which is cool. He's got this old school shotgun there. He's got this old like 6-shooter pistol thing there that I have in the holster there on his right leg. And then here for the machete, I just attached it to the back. And this looks really cool. It's kind of a dirty looking blade, dirty looking handle in there, but it looks nice, sculpted nicely in there. So we'll get that sheath back in there. So yeah, he looks really good. He really reminds me of a cowboy and maybe I'm wrong in that. You guys let me know what you guys kind of think. Or maybe his Native American, as you could kind of see by the design here and kind of the feathery fur. I guess that wouldn't be feathers. There's feathers here and then like the fur around his boots in there. But he does remind me of kind of a cowboy-esque type character, but in like a Frankenstein style, I guess you could say. But he looks really good. I like it there. And then he's got kind of this American flag, bandana there tied around his arm. Looks really nice. There. And I know for a lot of folks this was kind of the favorite one or their most anticipated one, and he for sure came out looking really, really, really good. So that is the 3 of the figures: General Brown, Donner Party, and Halloween Boy. Let's go ahead and take a look at the articulation of each one, starting with General Brown, then we'll move on into Halloween Boy, and then into the Donner Party. Okay, so taking a look at General Brown, let's get kind of all this extra stuff off of him and kind of make it easier so we can go through everything. So the head is on a dumbbell, not a dumbbell joint, disc hinge, so he can look up all the way, he can look down all the way, and then because you can move the neck itself, and then with the hinge on the neck, you can get him to look all the way up, all the way down, and then you can pivot around on that neck as well, which is cool. The arm you can get to go straight on out like so. You get a full rotation in there. You got an upper bicep swivel in there. Double jointed pinless elbow gives you that much bend at the elbow. Wrists swivel and they do hinge. Standard horizontal hinge on some of the hands. It just kind of depends. The trigger finger hands get the vertical hinge, which is the right one you want when wielding weapons, of course. And then the finger pointing hand also gets the vertical hinge. Otherwise, the other hands have the standard horizontal hinge on there. I can't tell for sure what kind of movement he has on his upper torso, but it feels like there's probably a ball joint at the waist because you can get him to tilt to the side a little bit, but because of the rubber overlay and the coat, it does hinder it quite a bit. So just a heads up on that. So you're really not going to get him to lean forward, lean back, or anything like that. Legs go out that far apart. He can kick forward that far or so because, again, the coat is pretty long and comes down a ways, so it kind of gets in the way a little bit. You do get some thigh turn in there, which is good. You got a double jointed knee, gives you that much bend at the knee, and again, it is a pinless knee. You get a ankle swivel in there. You can hinge down only a little bit, kind of pop the foot off of the peg there. So you can get a little bit of ankle pivot where it allows you the movement based on the pant leg. You have a peg hole at the bottom of the feet, of course, and the stands. As you can see, the Operation Monster Force is General Brown. There are 2 pegs in there so he could stand. You can peg the foot pegs in there so he can utilize the stand. So it's really good. So limited articulation for this guy, which will be tough when it comes to the Black Watch agents since they're going to use the same body. The coats are going to be different on there. I think those coats are open coats, so it won't have the hindrance of the torso in them. So just a heads up on that. But General Brown, he's the general. He's not likely going to really be getting in the middle of battle and all of that stuff. He does have the pistol, so he can hold his own in there. But, you know, he's the general, so he's going to be more directing and leading anyway, and not, you know, really in the battle type of deal. So moving on to Halloween Boy. So let's get him off of the stand. Let's get these weapons out of his hands as well. In there. And let me get a close-up of this sword. I didn't do that earlier, and this is really cool looking. Really, really cool looking sword. And I love the flame effect that you can attach it to the sword, and then it also will come off, if I could put it on the right way there. So that is really cool that you could do that there. But getting to Halloween Boy in his articulation there. So Halloween Boy, his neck is on a separate piece, and then he does have the disc hinge, so he can look all the way up, which is great. He can look all the way down. You can do some good pivot, and then you could swivel the head side to side any which way you want to go. The arm you can get to go straight on out. You get a full rotation in there. He does have the butterfly joint, but with the rubber overlay of the vest, it does hinder the arm going back a little bit of the ways, and then getting the front a little bit of the ways for some crossbody does hinder because of that vest. So just a heads up on there. Can you take the vest off? You absolutely could, but I think the vest is an important part of the aesthetic of the figure that I will not be removing it. So just heads up on that. You got the upper bicep swivel in there. Double jointed elbow gives you that much bend at the elbow. That's because I also have the elbow pads on there, which is going to hinder it a little bit. So just a heads up on that. Wrist swivel, and they do hinge. Standard horizontal hinge on most of the hands, but the trigger finger hands do get the vertical hinge, which is good. You got a ball joint at the waist, and then there is a diaphragm cut on him, but because of the rubber overlay, guys, it is going to hinder a little bit. So just a heads up on that, but you can get Halloween Boy to tilt to his left like so. You can get him to tilt to his right like so in there. You can lean back a little bit, not a whole lot, and then you can come forward a little bit, but the rubber overlay on the vest is going to hinder that, of course. And then you can swivel at the diaphragm in there, and then swivel at the waist a little bit as well. Legs go out that far apart there. You do have the drop down hips, as you can see how far down those hips will drop, and he can kick forward, so he can kick forward very far, which is quite nice. You have the upper thigh cut in there. Double jointed pinless knee gives you that much bend at the knee, which is quite nice. In there, you get a boot swivel, foot hinges down, as you can see there. You get some hinge up, ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So good articulation on Halloween Boy. It's just, again, rubber overlay. If you want to take it off, you can, but just aesthetically, I think it looks better with the rubber overlay. So just a heads up on that. But again, however you want to do it, you can do that. If I didn't mention it, he's got peg holes at the bottom of the feet, so you could utilize the stand. So looking at the Donner Party, so let's get this shotgun out of his hand, and I just pulled the whole hand off instead of just the shotgun out of his hand. Silly, silly me. Let's get that back on there. He's got that glove piece. Get him off the stand. So the Donner Party, same thing. The neck is a separate piece on there, so it allows you to kind of really lean his head forward, but he can look down all the way. He can look up all the way, as it also is on a hinge, so that is great there. You get some good pivot. on the neck, and then you get a full swivel in that neck as well. The arm you can get to go straight on out like so. You get a full rotation in there. You have the butterfly joint in there, but you don't really have anything hindering it, so you can get the arm to go back quite a ways, and then coming forward, you can get it to come forward a little bit for some crossbody, as you can see there. You got the upper bicep swivel in there, double jointed pinless elbow, gives you that much bend at the elbow, wrist swivel, and they do hinge. Trigger finger hands get the vertical hinge, again, all standard. Other hands get the standard horizontal hinge. You got the diaphragm cut on here, and then the ball joint waist. So using both, you can tilt Donner Party to his left that much there, so you could see, you know, what the full range of motion is with these figures, as you can see there, as he tilts to his right, which is great, and then as he leans back there, which is really good, and then coming forward as well, he can crunch forward there, so that is really good there. Legs go out that far apart, again, drop down hips similar to Halloween Boy, as I think the legs are going to be the same pieces there. He can kick forward. Hold on. Kick forward. I feel like he could kick forward more than that. Hold on. Kick forward that much there. The leg goes back a little bit. You get the upper thigh cut in there. Double jointed pinless knee gives you that much bend at the knee. You get, oh, there we go. We got the boot swivel in there. You also have the ankle pivot in there. You can hinge the foot down a little bit, you can hinge up a little bit, and then peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So Donner Party, because his torso is a little bit more exposed, you can really see the full range of motion in there, and these things move really well. So there we go. We've got General Brown, Halloween Boy, and the Donner Party from Operation Monster Force. By Big Bad Workshop, exclusive to Big Bad Toy Store. So Halloween Boy and Donner Party are Season 2. General Brown is Season 0. Okay, so here we have Declan Van Helsing and Dracula from Season 1 in here to kind of show you guys the good guys side in here. Van Helsing is actually in stock right now. Dracula is listed as a pre-order. He's likely going to be coming in that same shipment with the Season 2 and the Season 0 figures. So if you're looking to pick him up, add him to your collection if you missed out on the first wave that had come in earlier this year, last year, or whenever it was. Now's the time to lock in your pre-order. So I'll have links in the video description below if you're looking to pick up any of these. These are awesome figures that blend in well with your G.I. Joe Classified series or your military figures, if that's what you want to do. But again, these are exclusive to Big Bad Toy Store. They are produced by Big Bad Workshop and Fresh Monkey Fiction. And of course, the weapons are sculpted and designed by Gridiron Studio. So links in the video description below. Lock in your pre-order now, as these figures will be shipping out very soon. So Season 1, if you missed out, they kind of sold out quick, and they had to do pre-orders for another production run and everything like that. So I wouldn't miss out. Halloween Boy, again, is going to be my favorite of these. Then Donner Party. General Brown, he's a little generic. He's kind of your typical army builder, not a whole lot going on for it, but he's important to the story if that's what you're looking to build out. And then if you just need some generic, army leaders, military leaders, generals, things like that, he's going to work perfect. But you guys give me your thoughts down in the comments below on these Operation Monster Force figures. Head over to BigBadToyStore.com to pick these up, and let me know again what you guys think down in the comments below. So Operation Monster Force, make sure to pick them up now.